In 1965, the French president realized something about the gold at Fort Knox that would make his country rich. The United States made a critical mistake. At the time, the US currency was backed by actual gold, but the dollar was undervalued compared to the price of gold. So France started to cash in all their dollars for US gold for a huge profit. It angered President Richard Nixon so much, he took the US off the gold standard. No more dollars for gold. But it was too late. France had extracted 24 billion of today's dollars out of Fort Knox. Conspiracy theories went wild saying the vault was now empty. It got so bad, the US Mint agreed to open its doors for the first and last time. So, in 1974, to prove the gold wasn't missing, 12 congressmen and a dozen journalists went inside, and they saw lots of gold, but the official story started to fall apart. There is proof Fort Knox has a huge secret. Today, the official total is 147.3 million ounces of gold at Fort Knox. That is more than China, Japan, Switzerland, Russia, and Saudi Arabia combined. But the story of how America got its gold is scandalous. The government made it illegal to own the precious metal in America. The US was in the middle of the Great Depression, and to save itself, the government passed the Gold Confiscation Act of 1933. The plan was to take citizens' gold and then print more dollars to stimulate the economy. At the time, all cash had to be backed by actual gold. If people didn't comply, they would be sent to jail for 10 years and face a hefty fine. People today would never stand for that, but back then they felt it was their duty to save the country. So Americans turned in their gold for cash, but the government played a dirty trick. They upped the price of gold by 41% after taking it from citizens. So people got 41% less cash than they deserved. The government used the profit to create jobs building highways and public works, but the gold was in danger. It was stored at banks in New York and Philadelphia. But World War II broke out and the Nazis wanted world domination. If Hitler invaded America, it would be easy to steal their fortune. There was also rising organized crime with the mafia, so Fort Knox was chosen as the perfect hiding place, 1,000 miles from shore, naturally protected by the Appalachian Mountains and surrounded by a military base. The bullion depository was finished in 1938 and became the most secure building in the world. So safe, no one's even tried to steal an ounce of gold. It's like something out of a James Bond movie. Literally, Goldfinger. The building has armed guard boxes on every corner, but that's just for show. The real danger is what you can't see. It is strictly confidential, but rumor says the grounds are surrounded by landmines and electric fences. Machine guns automatically pop up and go off when a laser's triggered. There's hidden ground-to-air missiles in case the threat is from above. But if someone makes it inside, they won't get out alive. The vault door is made of steel and concrete and weighs 20 tons. No one person knows how to open it. Several staff members have unique combinations that need to be dialed separately to open the vault. But death is waiting inside. If triggered, the basement is designed to flood and drown any thieves. Photos at construction hint at the deadly feature, which was inspired by a bank in Spain constructed around the same time. But despite all that, the president of France was able to withdraw billions of gold in the 1960s. That is when the vault opened its doors and unknowingly revealed their biggest secret. The vault director, Mary Brooks, hosted a tour for congressmen and members of the press. She led them to one of 28 inner rooms which had a seal from the last time gold was counted. She broke the seal and opened the door, showing gold from floor to ceiling. Mrs. Brooks then randomly pulled bars to prove they made official weight. At the end of the tour, the most doubting congressman said, "I think it's all there." But he only saw a fraction of the gold. The Treasury claims Fort Knox has about 150 million ounces, but only 1 million ounces were in that room. If you add up all 28 rooms a lot of gold is unaccounted for. The US has denied the existence of a hidden compartment, but Lieutenant John Ryan wrote a letter saying, "The Treasury is lying. I have seen it. There is a central core vault in the basement that covers the entire perimeter filled with gold." So people went back to that official tour and found other red flags. This photo shows weighing a gold bar at 22 pounds. The official weight is 27.5 pounds. So the government said, oh, it was just a crappy, cheap scale, but zoom in. That is an official standard issue scale from the US Postal Service. Another lie. What are they hiding? But if gold is missing, then why has security at Fort Knox only gotten stronger? Well, a former Vault employee said, if someone wants to break into the bullion depository, it's not gonna be for the gold. It turns out much more valuable things have been stored there. During World War II, the UK sent their crown jewels and the Magna Carta. The US kept the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, and Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. Tourists had no idea they saw replicas on display at Washington. But if the US was to hide their biggest secret ever, it would choose Fort Knox. In 1948, Kentucky National Guardsman Thomas Mantell was ordered to investigate a weird sighting above the fort. He was a decorated pilot in World War II with many hours of flying time. But during the early morning hours, he encountered a large, orange, luminous ball above the depository. His exchanges with air traffic control are still classified. But suddenly, Mantell's fighter plane came crashing down in a field and he died. What would a UFO want to do with Fort Knox? Well, this could be a coincidence, but 1 year earlier was the famous case at Roswell, New Mexico. A farmer reported a UFO crash on his land, and the Air Force told the press they had recovered a flying saucer. The next day, they took it back and said, oh, it was just a weather balloon. But in 2023, a whistleblower told Congress the government is hiding downed UFOs that included dead bodies. If the government was storing its biggest secret, alien life, there's no better place than Fort Knox. Only 2 presidents have ever been there because it takes an official presidential order to get in. They are hiding something. And people who say the missing gold is just a wacky conspiracy theory are ignoring some very real questions.